Our interim agreement with Iran gives us an opportunity to unwind seemingly intractable, interrelated conflicts throughout the Middle East. There is no reason for Congress to complicate by further enhancing sanctions now that are already working. We have this 6-month to a year window to fashion a longer-term agreement. The fact that we are even talking with Iran is the most encouraging signal that we've seen in 34 years. Let's use this diplomatic window. There are hardliners in both countries, highly suspicious, very negative, who would like to blow this agreement up. Unless we're willing to invade and occupy Iran, even repeated bombing will delay the Iranian nuclear effort at best 4 or 5 years, maybe less. Americans have spent $1 trillion, lost 4,000 American lives, with tens of thousands of wounded in more than a decade in Iraq, and it's still falling apart. Iran is bigger, stronger, and more sophisticated. I don't think you can sell that war to the American people. Congress should calm down and give diplomacy a chance. Let's learn about this important country, its 4,000-year history, and our past mistakes with Iran, and most important, our common interests. The Middle East has long been a simmering cauldron, with the conflict suppressed by a lid of repression held down by empire and colonial powers. That started to change a century ago with the collapse of the Ottoman Empire and colonial powers trying from afar to influence human behavior by drawing lines on maps from European capitals irrespective of religion, tribal, and ethnic realities. It set in motion a series of forces that are playing out today with tragic consequences. Iran, as the dominant Shia force in the region, could play a huge role where we share common interests, in Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, for instance. The current situation is a result of partnerships between Congress and the Obama administration that got us to this point where Iran is willing to negotiate. Strong, effective sanctions would never have worked without careful, artful diplomacy that involved other countries like India to help us squeeze Iran. It has worked. Let's claim credit and move on to the next steps. We could start by trying to learn about each other. Let's promote an exchange between Iran and the United States with students, religious leaders, maybe even parliamentary members and members of Congress. Let's focus on our shared interests, like Afghanistan, where we had earlier cooperation with Iran to help overthrow the Taliban. Let's work to make progress with the agreement and beyond. And the Congress can do this most importantly by leaving it alone. Congress shouldn't meddle. Congress shouldn't muddle. Congress shouldn't give Iranian hardliners who don't want any agreement at all an excuse to scuttle it. We have an opportunity to improve the most volatile region in the world, and Congress shouldn't blow that opportunity.